Hey, LeBron, Jeremy, just trying to tell you about Miami Heat. I know you know a lot about Miami. It's been a while since you were here, though. I mean, you were like in your 20s. You're 41 now. I act kind of 40. So I'm here to recommend, the suburbs in Broward are really, conducive for what I think you might be looking for. Um, and from a basketball perspective, like, when you really think about it, you, Bam, Giannis, it's a pretty good team. Very good. You don't get that reference. When we talk basketball, like, look, it's pretty simple. When Bam's on the floor, every year of his career, he got a top six defense. And since Bam came in the league, when Giannis is on the floor, you got a top six offense. It's, you come in, you add to that. You could freelance on defense because you got a couple of guys back there. You don't really have to try because like everyone else tries so hard. And you could, ultimately save, like Cleveland's got enough. You already did the thing for them. So you should come back here. And if you don't know, personally, I'd love to meet you because, well, my wife, met her when I was a freshman in college, and you were still on the Heat. I'm 31 now. That's a long time. And, she wasn't a huge basketball fan, but she came to my dorm room to watch you play against the Pacers and tell me if well, you can't tell me. I'm being long-winded, I know. And, yeah, she came over, watched the game with some friends, and then we were hanging out afterward, and we were laughing, and I was scrolling on Twitter. It was actually, it was actually Twitter back then, and I was just scrolling and looking at stats, and was very happy because you guys had won, and then I said I love you to my then girlfriend for what was actually the first time because I was so disarmed by everything, and she had made me laugh. And then she said, "Are you talking to me or LeBron?" And now we're married. I should have probably mentioned at the top, I work on the Heat broadcast, so we would get to interact. This might not be a good. You know what? Maybe we shouldn't send this one to him.
Mike Ryan, Jonathan Zaslow, Greg Cody, Roy Bellamy, Jeremy Tache, Tony Olariu, Chris Cody, Dan Le Batard.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mic's up, cue.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Give it up for Friday.
Yes,
it's a Friday show.
Right,
we did it, everyone. We made it to Friday in one piece. I don't know if this crew's worked together before. We got Chris, we got Jeremy, we got Mike Ryan, Dave Damashek, not out in L.A., in Pittsburgh. Hello, Dave.
Hello. Yes, George Clooney summers in Lake Como, Damashek
summers on the banks of the Three Rivers in heaven the whole month of July. Oh, it's dynamite.
All right, Dave, if I remember correctly, a couple weeks ago, because I don't think we had a Friday show last week. Did we have a Friday show last week?
No, we didn't.
Yeah,
No.
so a couple of weeks ago, if I remember correctly, Dave was upset. Dave has been upset. Chris, do you know what Dave Dameshek has been upset about?
I don't remember.
So the new show open, we have several show opens.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
And the new show open that was created, Dave Dameshek is very upset that he is not in the show open, that he's not one of the cast members who is announced, in the open by Poppy. Well,
I want to hear Poppy say my name. Is that so wrong?
Well, I mean, you're in the open though, Dave, and I have visual proof. You're absolutely in the show open, all right? You're in the show open late in the intro. There you are. Look up, Dave. You're right there. That's you. That's you right there. Dave, you're in the open.
Also, the animated or whatever, the illustrated version of me makes me look creepier than James Woods in Vegas.
Well, that's true.
It's really troubling the way. Am I perceived as a mustache guy? Because I don't think of myself as a mustache guy. I think of myself as hirsute, generally kind of swarthy looking. But I've been that picture when I saw it. Oh, that's how you see me. I'm like Tom Selleck.
Well, who's you? Like I didn't draw the
you
cartoon.
Guys.
Oh, okay.
Do you see me as like describe that guy? Like, oh, he's a mustache guy.
I think you're a beard guy, but in the cartoon, you have a beard. It's just the beard is lighter than your mustache, which I think is factually correct.
When are we going to address the elephant in the room? That Dan Le Batard has the most bizarre reversal of exactly that. Very few people go dark beard, white mustache. And now the beard is catching up with him, but that's a very rare occurrence.
So that's the elephant in the room.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
I think thankfully we're finally talking about it.
Guys, I'm in trouble, man. I'm in trouble. I got to cop to this. I'm in trouble. My wife is going to be so mad at me. So, my wife's in Israel right now. She's been in Israel for over a week now. And she's coming back in a few days.
Good time to go.
And, I mean, we could say that literally any point in time. And so my wife is in Israel. It's her first time there. She'd never been. And so she's been there for over a week. And, like, man, the days, even the weeks leading up to her leaving, her big concern was, am I going to be able to manage the house? She's not going away for a weekend. That means that I gotta be on top of everything. I gotta make sure I take care of the dogs. I have to make sure that my son, my younger one, gets to camp. I have to make sure that the towels get washed. And I said to my wife, I go, why do I gotta wash the towels? She's like, listen, I could smell your towel from the other side of the room. You gotta wash the towels. All right, fine. And then, I gotta do the laundry. Got to make sure everybody's got clothes. And so, wow, I almost knocked over my orange juice. Let me move this. And so, that'd have been a disaster. And so, I have to make sure.
Curious choice. You don't see many hosts just slamming the OJ.
That is Dave. That is true. Do you run into many sports talk show hosts who their drink of choice, they have a cup of orange juice? I think it's a fair critique of me in this moment.
I want you to jazz it up and go smoothie. If you're going to do it all the way.
You go pulp, no pulp?
I think that's
some. I go some pulp.
Oh, that's a weird move.
Why
Either
some?
commit or don't like it.
Hold on a second.
Some pulp.
That's in this. It's a type of orange juice. It's not like I'm pouring the OJ and I'm pulling out some of the pulp myself.
Straining it?
I'm not straining it myself. That's the OJ. You could buy it some pulp.
Why is it that Hoda Kotb and George Bush's daughter, they sit there and they drink wines? I don't know if they're still doing it in the same hour as we sit here having this conversation. I say we go wine, beer, or otherwise. How about you at least put some champagne in that OJ?
The other day, we have apple juice here in the fridge, and I poured myself some apple juice, and Jessie said she doesn't remember the last time an adult poured himself apple juice.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Apples in their pure form are the best of all fruits. I think we can all agree on that. Now, the derivations of it, the juice, the sauce, the pie, all subpar. I don't indulge any of them because I so treasure the raw form apple.
Has a
Straight
sports
off the
talk show
tree.
host ever had an apple pie with him during the show?
That's a good question.
Not sure.
Yeah, no. Mel Kiper has a pumpkin pie on the air in every day of his life, but I don't know about apple pie.
Look, apple juice, I'm not pouring myself any of the random brands, but if I can get a little glass of Martinelli's apple juice, I'm getting it 100% of the time.
Apple juice makes me poop. When I was a kid, if I was a little backed up, just give me a big glass of apple juice. 20 minutes later,
Chris have an issue. Pour him a glass of apple juice.
Mom, I can't poop. Here you go. Here's some apple juice.
Let's see if he can make it to the end of the show after he drinks a gallon of apple juice. I like that idea.
So that's the big thing when my wife was leaving. I got to make sure I have all those things covered. I got to make sure I do the laundry, okay? Here's how you do the laundry. She left me a list, you know? You turn the knob to this. You do it for this long. And, you know, this is for this son's laundry and this is this son's laundry.
I don't want to reveal too much here, but during our pre-show, discussion, you had to step away.
Yeah.
And then
I'm getting to that.
We kind of just overheard some bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Like there was some sort of laundry issue.
Yes, this is not I'm not doing a bit here. Like, this happened 25 minutes ago, all right?
You're taking calls from Tel Aviv on the state of the laundry?
No, it wasn't my wife. It was my younger son. And so that's the big thing, right? I got to make sure the boys have clothes. And because we've been gone for over a week now. And my younger son called me. Like, he woke up, an hour ago, and he's getting ready for camp. He's doing his whole thing. His older brother is going to drive him to camp in the morning like he's been for the last week. And he calls me. He goes, Dad, I don't have any more clothes. So I don't have clothes for camp.
All I heard you say was, I don't know, 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, so
that was what came from the other side of the room.
So here's what I told you. He doesn't have any clean clothes. He has no more clothes. And, he's upset. And what can I do about it? I'm here. And so I'm like, all right, go in your hamper, the dirty hamper. Go in the hamper, get your shorts, get underwear, and get a shirt.
He doesn't have more than a week's worth of underwear?
And
Weird.
Well, all right. And so I said, take those clothes, throw them in the dryer. All right, throw them in the dryer.
That is a move in a panic.
Run the dryer for 25 minutes. You're not leaving for 30 more minutes for camp. Run the dryer for 25 minutes, all right? And I told him, that's how you clean clothes, all right? They'll be clean. That's how you clean clothes. And he's frustrated, but he doesn't have any other options at this point. And so that's what he's going to do now. So my wife inevitably is going to find out. 'Cause let me tell you something. My boys, especially the younger one, snitches. Such snitches.
My daughter is too.
And you know what happens to snitches, right? Right?
Yeah.
They get hurt.
They get hurt.
My boys are such snitches. So my younger one is definitely, he may have already texted my wife at this point. They're 7 hours ahead. They're in the future, so she's awake. Do I need to tell you how time zones work? So she's awake. He may have already texted her. I may have a nasty text message from Jerusalem right now waiting for me. But
I'm going to call her right now and see what the hell this voodoo you think is going to work. Putting clothes in a dryer.
Yeah.
Well, what in hell?
I don't know. I feel like it makes them warm and maybe it cleans a little bit. I don't know. I don't know.
What?
I don't know. I didn't have any other answer. Damashek, I'm here. All right. He's at home. I don't have any other. There's nothing else I can do. I had to come up with something.
Inside Out? That's usually the solution.
Yeah, the kids will
isn't it?
definitely think that's cool. Here's the kid who wears his clothes inside out.
That's
that
crazy.
won't stick
Wild
with him.
suggestion.
It's a ridiculous suggestion.
That's a good social move.
Cache, my suggestion, and by the way, I'm just talking about underpants. I'm not talking about the whole head to toe
Okay.
get up. I'm just talking about so he doesn't stink too bad. Although I don't know that the inside out underpants trick really works, but it's better than throwing them in the dryer. What's that going to do?
If you take some dryer sheets, it'll help you with the smell potentially.
The heat will kill germs.
I guess.
Heat
I don't
kills
know if
germs.
that's
You know
true.
science?
Yeah, all right. I'll go with you on that one. I think my bigger thing is I'm good with doing the old dryer trick for like Damashek was sort of saying here, the clothes on the outside. If I got a t-shirt, if I've got some shorts, whatever, if that's what needs to be done.
Underwear is crazy.
Then that's what needs to be done. underwear is insane.
I'd go I'd free ball it before I would reuse some underwear.
Yes.
Maybe.
My wife's gonna be mad, man. So I'm gonna have to deal with that. And she's going.
Listen, get away from all this and take the advice of Dickie Betts and the Allman Brothers and eat a peach. Because I just advocated for apples, but if you have had a peach lately, you know what I'm talking about. Get yourself a nice yellow peach, chill it in the fridge for a half an hour, take it out, carve it up, take a bite or three. When you get back from Cloud 9, you can thank me then. Oh, the peaches.
Do you
gorgeous, right?
Do you suck on the pit? Like, are you one of those who keeps the pit?
No. I'm resentful of all fruits with a pit.
But you know what I'm talking about. There are people who they spend the rest of the day sucking on the pit.
Weirdos.
It's gross, right?
Yes.
There's a lot about this that's gross to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so that's what I'm dealing with this morning. Chris, you had your own situation this morning,
oh my
right?
God. I'm dealing with car issues right now. My car took a shit yesterday. So I decided to Uber in today. And my wife's car
Did it drink apple juice?
No, I did not.
No, the car.
Is everyone doing a routine today? What is going on?
You're
did
next.
Did
Get
you guys
ready.
not see Mbappe?
You don't have your Type 5?
So I get into the Uber, and it's like a 45-minute ride if, on the good side. If traffic's bad, it can be over an hour. So I get to
I hate Ubers, by the way. Like, I travel during college football season, obviously, with ESPN Radio, so I take Ubers a lot. It's the only time I ever take Uber. I hate Uber. I don't like being in the back seat. I get nauseous.
I have an etiquette question here. So now we're getting on the highway, and I know from experience that it is like a 20-minute quicker drive if you get in the express lane. If you sit in the regular lane, it is like a good 25.
Oh, I think it's more than that.
Right. And so I am now dealing with the awkwardness of, do I say to this guy, hey, can you take the express lane? Or do I suggest it? Do I have the right as an Uber passenger to demand it?
See, that's interesting
to me. Do I have
to
to offer to pay? Like, hey, I'll tip you whatever the fee is?
That's interesting to me because you see it like in movies and TV shows, right? Where if you're in a cab in New York, they're barking out orders to the cab driver what streets to take and what lane to be in and what highway to go. I'm like, this is crazy behavior. You tell the driver how to drive to the place you're going? I can't even imagine.
And my move was the insecure move of what I'm going to do is just very meekishly suggest the
How'd you do that?
Meekly,
whatever. I say meekishly. You knew what I meant.
Yeah.
What?
I totally knew what you meant.
Meekishly.
I'm going to meekishly suggest the express lane.
How'd you do that?
I just said, hey, oh man, that express lane, it's like so much quicker. Oh, this would be fun to do. And he's just like, oh, I'm going to
Hold on a second. You finished it with, that would be fun to do?
It'd be fun.
It'd be a blast. I feel awkward about, I'm asking the question, do I have the right?
So essentially, you told the Uber driver, you had an idea for how to make things fun.
I basically was just like, man, it's definitely quicker. It would be fun to do that. And he's just like, I'm just going to do it this way.
I just had this experience the other night, actually, where I missed the train on the way home from the Marlins
Everyone
game
is
because it
doing
went
a
to extra
routine.
innings.
I'm not.
Yeah, and my wife, I mean, what
You're next,
my
Mike.
wife said when that happened. No, but when I went in that Uber, because I now had to go all the way back to Fort Lauderdale, same sort of deal, I could see how much traffic there was. I could see that the express lane was still open at this time.
They should know this. They drive more than we do.
And I said nothing because I was of the assumption, like, well, this is going to cost him money. And what if he doesn't have a sun pass? What if he can't just go in this lane? Because it's not like there's tolls now. So I don't know what the ticket is if you go in that lane and you're not supposed to. Maybe he doesn't want to get pulled over. I don't really understand how any of that works. So I just sat there and said nothing and accepted my fate of it taking an extra half hour. And it was frustrating because I looked at his ways and I looked at my ways that has the express lane built into it, and I literally saw the difference of 32 minutes. And instead, I just sat there, and I texted my wife, and she said, "What are you doing?"
So that's why I was late.
It reminds me, recently I saw the episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where Larry, he gets a hooker. He gets a prostitute so he could take the express lane to go to the Dodgers game. The hooker wanted to go to the game also, but he didn't have a ticket for her. So he was just
Sean Young isn't a hooker, but she gets around DC in No Way Out, a gem of a picture with Costner. Would use as who in that room there is most likely to pull the Costner Sean Young move of sliding up. It's not in an Uber, no, in a limo. Limos have gone the way of the dodo bird, the stretch limos. But back in the day, he raises up. He's like, "Hey, beat it, chauffeur, driver," and he raises the window on him, and then he makes his love on her real good, real good. He puts a love on her. But Zaz, have you ever done that, or would you do that?
I will agree. It feels like the stretch limo doesn't have the cachet anymore. Like for my
I don't think they exist.
Like for my bachelor party, I had a stretch Hummer. Stretch Hummer's cool, right?
It is.
I think so. Stretch Hummer's cool. I mean, seemed cool to me.
You know that episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm that Dave brought up, Save Someone from Going to Jail for Murder?
Oh yeah, no, of course.
It's one of the great stories for an extra who was accused
Yep.
of murder.
He was going to go to prison. He was going to be found guilty.
Yeah, for killing a 16-year-old girl.
Yep.
And then they ended up discovering that episode was being filmed at the Dodgers game that he was at, and they could find him in the background.
Yeah, like he wasn't an extra. He was legitimately at the Dodgers game.
Right.
That was his alibi, and they found him in the background of one of the scenes, and he got off.
I'm just picturing his attorney like a week before the trial, just like watching Curb.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, shit!
Right. Amazing, right? Amazing. So I will tell you something that's not going to be amazing. I've been pretty dug in on LeBron, and he's going to choose Miami, that he's coming here. I have felt that pretty much the whole for a couple weeks now. But really, like at the beginning of this process, I started to connect the dots, and it really felt to me like I know the Heat have prepared. The Heat have behaved like a team who believes they have a real shot at LeBron. That's for sure. And I felt that LeBron was going to choose the Heat. It seemed like that for me. And I've been pretty steadfast on that up until yesterday. And I think it's going to be Cleveland now. I think he's going to choose Cleveland.
What changed?
I'm so tired of people even talking about, like even credible people on television, talking about Philadelphia and even Golden State. I mean, some people are still mentioning Minnesota. Get the hell out of here. Like, you really think we're gonna get a notification one of these days? LeBron is joining the Wolves. Like, what are you talking about? It's either Miami or Cleveland. That's it. Those are the only two options.
Are we playing LeBron predictions? Because I got one. Your prediction that he's going to Cleveland.
Well, I think, I think it's Cleveland now. And what changed? There's too much chatter right now online. It feels like it's Cleveland. It feels like they're preparing. It feels like we're in a spot that all the momentum has shifted in Cleveland's direction.
I definitely agree with you on that one. The sports guy is saying that. He's probably pretty plugged in if he is saying it as definitively as he is. The thing that has not been the discussion, if the goal is for the ultimate mercenary, and that's kind of how LeBron has positioned himself, I guess prodigal son back to Cleveland, one last act up there kind of is a nice sentimental storyline. But if the goal were to add one more chapter, one more finals run, one more title, isn't the Spurs the obvious answer?
Well,
and I have barely heard that team mentioned. If that were the goal, that's where you go. Can he rightly, and I defer to you guys on this, can he win a title? Can he even get to the finals with this Cavs team as constituted?
Well, yeah, you're correct. Like, if we're going to do that, what's the best place for him to go if he wants to win a championship? It's San Antonio or Oklahoma City. I think that's the best place.
Don't you think that would be a conversation if Pop were healthy and were still active and held in the regard that he did during the prime of his career? Because I think, like, San Antonio is a very random place for LeBron to end his career, but alongside Pop and all the respect that there is there, I think that it'd probably be a news item, whereas now they have a head coach that literally threw up on his jersey, on his sweater during the NBA Finals and became a punchline.
All right, my LeBron prediction is he will reveal where he's going on Rich Paul's podcast.
In person?
However, it will be through that platform. Whether it's a video he does, whether they bring him on with Rich Paul, maybe Max plays the Jim Gray role. I just feel like with all the Rich Paul stuff,
will it be live?
I just feel like he is going to be like, do I want to give this win to? It's not going to be Shams. It's not going to be Sports Illustrated like it was. I just feel like in this day and age, he's trying to build that podcast.
Should be us.
It is interesting. Like every time he's been a free agent, it's been a completely different way that he's announced it. In 2010, he did the decision, took meetings and did the decision. In 2014, it was the cover of Sports Illustrated. Lee Jenkins released a story. In 2018, you just got it on the crawl. And we knew the whole year he was going to leave and go to the Lakers, but it just said on the crawl one day, LeBron is signing with the Los Angeles Lakers. And now we've got nothing. All we have is, I'm not taking any meetings. Rich Paul, go gather as much information as possible. And at some point here, he's going to announce where he's going.
Another one I have that is maybe not as, this one's more like you can see it coming. Draymond's going wherever he goes. Like they're golfing right now in Puerto Rico. I think wherever LeBron signs, Draymond's going to be tagged along with him.
Yeah, I think people are looking at it the wrong way. People think that Draymond's there.
Oh, he's not going to come here.
Well, people are looking at it like Draymond's there to recruit LeBron to the Warriors, and that may be a part of this, but Draymond is not leading here. Draymond is following.
It's a where are we going?
Yeah.
They're probably in Puerto Rico. Like, let's go to Puerto Rico. Let's play golf. We'll talk about it.
That is so corny.
I'm glad that you mentioned that because allow me to follow up on an investigation that we had yesterday where we were 100% right. We reported with 100% certainty LeBron was either in Florida or the Caribbean. Right. Now, I was also 75% sure because of the plant life around that it was Florida because, Puerto Rico would be an odd place. And we did track that plane from Akron to West Palm. Now, we know where LeBron was yesterday. My report was on information from 2 days ago. So I may have been right. But one thing that I was 100% right about was the Royal Poinciana and where it grows, either Florida or the Caribbean. That's another incredible job reporting by this show.
That's journalism.
That is big J journalism. But yeah, I think Draymond goes wherever LeBron goes.
So then he's out as far as Miami. Like the Heat aren't signing Draymond.
Why are you? No, the Heat will sign whoever LeBron tells them to sign.
You really think Draymond, who just opted out at $27 million, you think Draymond's going to go sign somewhere for the minimum?
I think Draymond will follow LeBron James.
To your point, he might not sign here because of that, because we can't pay him. But
I would.
Do you think that the difference, legitimately, the difference for LeBron would be you have to be able to acquire Draymond for $20-something million, or I won't go there?
That
because,
is so silly.
by the way, if that's the case, that would require Cleveland completely and utterly blowing up their entire roster.
I was kind of assuming at this point that Draymond would take a little less to play
yeah,
with.
maybe,
Draymond's
okay,
gonna
maybe
have to.
15.
Draymond opting out means he's taking less. No one in the right mind is paying Draymond what he was going to opt into.
Right, but didn't we think less meant like instead of $27 million, he'll take 15?
But the only team that can pay him close to that kind of money would presently be Golden State, and that's without LeBron on their books. Like LeBron on the books means Draymond takes significantly less money in Golden State. So him opting out to me was a pretty clear sign that his primary priority is linking up with LeBron and wherever he goes. And he hopes that it's Golden State, probably can make a little bit more money in Golden State. But wherever he goes, the teams that we're talking about, they barely have space for LeBron. Most have to maneuver to get LeBron James on their roster. I think pretty much all of them do. Draymond's not the priority there. They're going to have to do some huge gymnastics to fit Draymond on the books.
I mean, go ahead, Dave.
Well, I'm just curious what you perceive to be LeBron's priority here. Is it getting a title? Is it rounding out his career and making one last statement, putting an exclamation point at the end of it? One narrative that would be fun to play into that probably is out the window because of the mess that Pablo Torre has covered is the Clippers. If he likes the lifestyle, which he clearly does in Los Angeles, and he wants to kind of stick it to the Lakers on some level because they embarrassed him, perhaps, wouldn't the Clippers with Kawhi be about as good a situation as he can find at this point? Unless, what's better for LeBron? LeBron with Giannis in Miami? I in a way, I kind of think lifestyle and otherwise, if you want to stay in LA, because I think what you said, Zaz, a second or so ago, San Antonio seems random. I think that's the place LeBron has now found himself in, is this weird, severe mercenary role where highest bidder, best chance for me to win and all that kind of stuff. and it has a weird vibe to it at this point. It's a little like Kawhi Leonard, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, that's why it's always been obviously to me either Cleveland or Miami. But if we're talking about what the options here, I think the only thing that Cleveland has over Miami is the storybook ending. Look, that's his home, the storybook ending. If we look at everything else, we look at lifestyle, golf. He loves golf now. I don't play golf, but apparently people who get that golf bug, it's like a real thing. And certainly Miami, I'm not 100% sure, but I think Miami has better golf than Cleveland does. So you got that. You got the style of play in Miami. You got the guys who he's going to play next to, Bam and Giannis, the way that LeBron fits. You got the coach who's maybe the best coach in the league, who he knows he could trust. You're familiar with everyone in the franchise. The only thing, tell me if I'm wrong, Mike, the only thing that I see Cleveland having over Miami in this spot to attract LeBron is that it's his home.
That's a big thing. And a conquering hero returning home. He's already done the return back, and he knows how that goes. What's the cupcake shop saying?
Okay, so this is stupid, right? But it's a real thing. So when LeBron, and you could help, trigger my memory if you guys remember it differently than I do, but in the days leading up to LeBron leaving Miami, there was an account on Twitter from a cupcake shop called Caroline's Cupcakes. It's based in Canton, Ohio. And weirdly enough, they essentially broke the story that LeBron is coming home. They did. It's a real thing. And they're looking to get into the breaking news story again. And ESPN Cleveland retweeted this, Caroline's Cupcakes. And this is from Instagram, I believe. Caroline's Cupcakes. And this would lend credence to what Mike Ryan just said. They tweeted out yesterday, I've got it on good authority that not only is LeBron coming back to Cleveland, but he's bringing Draymond with him. If you don't believe me, you can Google Caroline's Cupcakes plus LeBron and check out my credentials. This is not my first rodeo. And that's true. It's a stupid, weird thing.
You got to let the people find out your credibility, though. Like, saying you have the credibility in the tweet I don't like that move.
Well, nonetheless, I'm not the only one who remembers this, right? You remember this cupcake shop.
I do.
And they broke the story last time. And Mike just told us here, Draymond is definitely, now that's just, speculation, but Draymond is definitely going with LeBron, and that's what that account has said. So take that for what you will. But I told you yesterday, it really seemed like a groundswell of momentum that was leaning toward LeBron. But I want to take you back to this, okay? I want to take you back to, you remember this year, remember this NBA season when LeBron got himself in hot water with Memphis. He hates Memphis, all right? The city of Memphis should lose the Grizzlies. They should move the Grizzlies to Nashville. And then LeBron had to defend these statements where, give this a listen, he also mentioned other places he doesn't like playing.
How people have taken those comments.
What do you mean, taking?
People have been upset about the fact that Memphis was looked at as a team that, a lot of black people in Memphis, right, compared to like Nashville, for example. So people
Did I say I don't like black people?
No, you didn't say that. But there were people who were wondering why Memphis was targeted like
Milwaukee was too. You didn't miss that one too? They didn't see that?
not as much commentary.
Oh, yeah, okay. I said Milwaukee as well. Yeah. 41 years old. There's two cities I do not like playing in right now. And that's Milwaukee and that's Memphis. What is your problem? I don't like going home either. Shit, and I'm from there. What is people are ridiculous. They also get mad at my son being on the team too.
I don't want to get into the whole Memphis thing again. Why did they say Milwaukee? LeBron, you didn't say the Bucks should leave Milwaukee, okay? It's completely different from what you said about Memphis. You said they should lose their team. Anyway, I don't want to get bogged down in that. But he did say there, I don't like going back home either. So, I don't know, like, do we care?
They also get mad at my son being on the team, and that's solely based on merit. What are they talking about?
Hey, he was actually a kind of decent role player for them.
So,
oh, look at you.
And he will be here in Miami as well. Developing on a two-way
Well,
contract.
we talk about the factors legitimately. I feel like LeBron understands that that the best thing for Bronny would be for Bronny to make the Lakers on his own merit, right? I mean, that like to attempt to drag Bronny at his next destination doesn't do the kid any favors.
If we're being honest here, I don't think Bronny would want to leave the Lakers and go with LeBron.
I agree. That's what I'm saying.
What?
I think the best thing for him is to make the team, which he really might with the Lakers, given their need on the wing. He might earn. He's not going to be a legitimate, real good NBA player, but for this season of the Lakers, he kind of fits what they need.
He's been in the NBA for 2 years now, Bronny. Forget about whether it's on his own merit and whether he actually deserves to be an NBA. He's not an NBA player, but anyway, he's been in the NBA for 2 years. Being in the NBA is cool as hell when you're young. You got a lot of money. You get to travel places. You get to go to clubs. He's probably going to be 21 soon. He'll get to go to the bars and do that kind of deal. And the entire time, you're with your dad? You maybe just want to hang out with your friends on the team, but, like, your dad is everywhere?
What's that like, Chris?
It's great.
Like, wouldn't you want to just be a fun NBA player and not be around your father all the time? I don't think he would want, but that's a weird conversation, right? Because when LeBron tells him, hey, I'm going to Miami, we're going to trade for you, is Bronny like, I don't know, man, I kind of like it here. Like, how does that conversation possibly go down? How does Bronny get to tell LeBron, I don't think so, Pop. Like, I'm happy here.
Great news, Bronny. I signed the deal. We're on our way back to Northeast Ohio. I think I'm gonna hang back here. Like, what are you talking about, man? Like, whatever he is, 23 years old. What kid would rather live in Cleveland than Los Angeles? Come on.
There's all sorts.
And as you say, the idea of like after hours, after the game is over, and you're in a foreign town, like all the other guys. Well, not friends, make new friends is what I'm getting at more. It's going to probably be hard to make new friends when your dad is there with you.
There's a whole bunch of different stuff, though, where if you want to read into the different tea leaves of what's happening, there's recruitments, there's all sorts of stuff. But the Cleveland Cavaliers went and tweeted a random thread yesterday. And everyone's doing content in the offseason. Like, I understand you have different things that you got to do. But I believe we might have those available to show the audience. But I'll just read what this Twitter thread says.
Okay.
And it's from @Cavs. And so it starts with a slide. The tweet says, did you say the same thing as us? Hashtag let them know. That's their little hashtag. And it says, if you say the same thing, you're out. Swipe to play. So the following
Is this
slide,
like a new social media game, or are they just doing this on their own?
I haven't seen it. Seems like something they do on their own.
Okay.
Maybe I'm behind on the trend. But the first slide says, name a former number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
So when I think of a former number 1 overall pick for the Cavs, obviously
Anthony
I think
Bennett.
I think of LeBron James.
Okay.
They replied with Austin Carr. Interesting. Then they said, name a player from the 2016 championship team. Now, mainly, I think of LeBron James.
Okay.
They went with Iman Shumpert. And then they replied with just one more thing. Name a current Cavalier. And they went with Jalen Tyson. But
And for all of them, they put under the caption, you're out. Like, those are wrong answers.
right. And so what I found to be very interesting here is the 3 things they chose. A former number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
A guy who was on the 2016 championship team.
Yeah. What about
And
the last
now
one?
a current Cavalier. And I saw Cleveland Twitter was going nuts when this happened. Oh my God, it's happening. It's happening now. This is why they're doing this. This is why they're doing
It feels like it is.
And then nothing happened. I'm also wondering, like, you have all these different things that are going on. Steph Curry also made a pitch. Jaylen Brown also sort of made a pitch. They were both kind of strange. The only ones being silent are right here that are involved in the conversation.
Yeah, but that's par for the course.
It's par for the course on what happens here in Miami. Like, it's just how it goes.
If I may offer up a diluter to one of the main sales pitches we always mention with Miami, I am not denying that they have a proud, tried and true history of developing talent. But it also is pretty myopic to think that other teams don't.
They don't like this.
Sam Merrill's one of the best shooters in the NBA. Dean Wade has become a big-time. You just mentioned Tyson. Like, Cleveland's got guys that they've developed into big-time contributors too. I understand. We have our Miami Prism, and we have the Tyler Johnson examples and the Max Strus examples.
And Gabe Vincent.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, and
Robinson.
No,
Is that what we're gonna do? We're just gonna list all the guys?
Yeah, but you're taking a 10-year data point, right? And I'm just saying, like, very recently, Cleveland can make the same pitch. Like, the LA Lakers can point to Austin Reeves and say, look at what we did. He wasn't expected to be that. So I think that you're probably overhyping what a selling point that is.
I do just want to make sure that I mention again, if they don't get LeBron, and I've kind of switched. I don't think they're going to get him anymore. I think it's going to be Cleveland. We shouldn't be disappointed. This offseason has been a grand slam offseason for the Miami Heat. Like, we should be totally good with what this team has done and super pumped about acquiring Giannis.
Chris Cody and Roy revealed this to me. And Roy, I don't know the context of what it is that you guys were talking about that revealed this about Chris Cody.
Yeah, Chris asked me what the sound from the first down for the Dolphins games were. And I said
it's just a noise I've made throughout my entire life. It's just like I just did it. Hoo-wah!
Yeah.
And to me, that's another Miami Dolphins first down.
Well, let's find out if your dad knows, because he's not a real moviegoer. Instead of impersonating the sound, do you have the actual sound? Greg Cody, do you know who's making this sound?
Hoo-ah! I do.
Clark Gable.
Come on.
It's the famous actor.
Rock Hudson.
Oh, this is great. He doesn't know it.
No, it's the famous actor. And I got to pin his name down because I don't think
you should be able to say this immediately.
I don't think it's Robert De Niro.
No.
But I think it's
in the neighborhood.
In the neighborhood. Give me a second. Robert De Niro.
Humphrey
Al Pacino.
Hey, there you go.
If someone said that in his headphones, you're fired.
Now,
No,
what movie?
nobody said
What
that.
movie?
It's APEC. What movie?
Streetcar Named Desire.
You ain't you. No. You're not man enough to know the truth. Something like
No.
That's a few good men, and that's a few good men.
Good answer.
You're not man enough to know the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Don't know.
It's a different movie. Pacino was not in
You're
it.
not man enough to know the truth.
That was originally a line. Nicholson ad-libbed.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Was Pacino in A Few Good Men? Was a blind Pacino?
Okay, who did he say? Who said in what movie?
Let's keep going. Let's see how long it takes you to get.
Play it again.
I think did he win an Oscar? I think he won an Oscar for this.
Yes.
Bull Durham.
No.
Good answer.
Put it on the
Raging
poll.
Bull. Raging
Put it on
Bull.
the poll.
Raging
No.
It's a bull movie.
Just naming De Niro movies.
Red Bull. I don't know.
Put it on the poll. Was a blind Pacino in Bull Durham?
Chicago Bull.
And put it on the poll as well. Was a blind Pacino in Raging Bull? First of all, it's a really random thing to have stick in a Dolphin.
I say it all the time.
No, but it's been for 30 years. That movie's 30 years old. I don't want to tell him what the movie is. Keep guessing, Greg. Keep trying to guess what the Al Pacino movie. How many Oscars has Pacino won? Because he
A Few Good Men.
You already guessed that, and we already told you that it's not A Few Good Men.
Okay.
And you're not man enough to handle the truth.
Right. Okay.
Classic line.
It's got a military theme to it. I just can't come up with a
It's
name.
not a military theme, but I think he's a former military guy.
Okay, that,
He was a colonel.
There you go. Colonel Sanders. I don't know. I'm never going to get it. I don't know movies.
Wow, it's his only Academy Award.
The
Greg doesn't know
scent
movies.
of a
Woman. See? I told you I was going to get it.
Your son had no idea where that sound
where I
was
get it
from.
from.
This is
really?
2 generations of idiot. Pop
No.
culture idiot.
I knew it was Al Pacino.
Greg, you cannot listen to
De
what you
Niro.
just did for the last 4 minutes and say that that is some sort of expertise
Okay,
that you're bragging about.
First of all, I speak for moviegoers in general. Al Pacino and De Niro are always interchangeable. They're always mistaken for each other. They're the same person.
De Niro could not have been the devil.
They've won the same awards. They're like the same people.
They were only in one scene together, like in their movie careers.
I know, but they're parallel lives. And you know it.
Put it on the poll. Do you often confuse De Niro and Pacino, and you know it? At Le
And you
Batard
know it.
Show.
You're going to have to wait for that one.
Exactly.
That was staggering, even by the standards of the Greg.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings Sports. DraftKings! The crown is yours.
Jeremy's upset because we didn't get to the Marlins.
Yeah, dude.
Maybe that's because even though we're done with the local hour, maybe the Marlins are a national story.
They are a national story.
Okay, all right, so
They're
calm
the best
down.
team in baseball.
All right, so calm down.
You know, this is the best 20-game stretch they've had in franchise history. They've won 16 of their last 20. It's unbelievable. They won
Like they never
16 of
did
the
that
last
in
18.
'97.
Nope.
I mean, I know people think they were incredible in '97 when they won the World Series. They won 91 games. Not like they were a 100-win team, and they were a wild card team. Like they were. Matter of fact, in '97, going throughout most of that season and going into the postseason, they were considered an underachieving.
Zaz, they've never won a division.
Yeah,
as a franchise.
2 world championships, 0 division titles.
It's incredible. And right now they sit, I believe, 3.5 back of the division. They're tied with the Phillies, who, God, the Phillies. I mean, they're 20 games over since they fired Rob Thompson and hired Don Mattingly as their manager. That series down here.
I
at
like
the
Mattingly,
end of the
man.
month.
I always
It's
liked
great.
Mattingly.
Oh man, the idea of like the Marlins and Phillies squaring off in a wild card series where it's Mattingly against Clayton McCullough. Like, look, this team has
in
been
Mattingly's favor.
This team has been spectacular, and it's fun watching the rest of the MLB like media catch up on it. And you watch MLB Network; they're doing all these breakdowns, not just of Otto Lopez, but of all the things that are going right. For
All right,
this
I
team.
know you got a lot. Remind me to get back to it, okay?
Sweet, good.
You got a lot. I know you got a lot. Okay.
Yep.
I watched you last night. I had the Marlins on my monitor while I was on ESPN last night. I'm watching the Marlins
see that
game,
cheese story that
and
I
I
did?
was waiting for you. You were talking to Otto Lopez. I was waiting to see if you're going to dap him up. You did not.
What did I do?
You shook his hand.
I did.
You shook his hand. You did not dap him up. All right, remind me to get back to it. I know you got a lot to say. All right. Let's get to what are you laughing at? Let's get to the World Cup. All right. Right? Let's get to the World Cup already. So yesterday, finally, the World Cup is back. I mean, we had to go Wednesday with no World Cup. What are we supposed to do to pass the time? Reconnect with our family? It was weird not having the World Cup on Wednesday. So the
Could've
World
watched the
Cup,
Marlins.
they return yesterday, and we get France just they really pummeled Morocco. Like, we get to the 60th minute, and Mbappe finally scores to make it 1-0. And at that point, it was like, yeah, it feels like the floodgates are about to open because they were dominating the whole game, and then finally Mbappe broke through.
You know what, Chris Cody? I think Kylian Mbappe is worth a toast.
Oh, he is. Worth a Toast is presented by Cuervo. Keep it fun. Keep it Cuervo.
Let me tell you why Kylian Mbappe is worth a toast. Gents, Kylian Mbappe is the greatest World Cup performer of all time. Yeah. And it's not even closer.
Well, who would have been if you weren't making this statement right now? Like, who was the greatest World Cup performer?
Well, there's Pelé. I think a lot of people, especially with his World Cup in Qatar, would say Leo Messi. But Messi has had some high-profile slip-ups. It took him a while to get going in the World Cup. There's only been one performer that has been scoring at this clip from the jump. Mind you, he's already a World Cup champion. Kylian Mbappe is only 27 years old.
Because they won 8 years ago, right?
Yes, they won the World Cup. He was a part of that. He had a hat trick in the final where they just fell short. And for my money, the greatest single sporting match ever. Any sport. It's what we show the aliens and say, this is what sports is all about. That France and Argentina final. Mbappe,
Which was won in penalties, right?
Yes. Mbappe had a hat trick in that. Messi was brilliant. And the two best players being the best players. It was just phenomenal. Mbappe is not stopping. And Mbappe had a disappointing season for Real Madrid. Injured. This guy, he's always questioned a little bit. PSG starts stacking up the elusive trophies when they get rid of him. And he forces his way to Real Madrid, and it doesn't go the right way. And he gets to the friendly confines of the World Cup, and he's scoring at an insane clip again. The absolute worldie that he scored yesterday. His motor is unbelievable. He gets really fiery in the World Cup. It's a different type of Kylian Mbappe.
He got stuffed on a weak penalty.
Yeah, he was very smart in what he did on that penalty. Everyone was saying it's a dive. No, it's you have the player exposed already who didn't hit the ball. You drag your feet a little bit, and you force the penalty.
No, but I'm saying his penalty attempt was
yeah,
weak.
it was, and he kind of got frozen out, and there were already all the conspiracy theories with the Argentinian refs. But how he drew that penalty is a lot like a great shooter pump faking like D Wade, getting the defender to jump in the air. You're dead to rights at that point. Mbappe has been so brilliant. This French team has proven they can beat you in many, many ways. They can blitz you with their attack. Dembele is a former player of the year in that sport, and he hadn't gotten going until this World Cup. I believe France has the first pair teammates that have scored at least 5 goals in the same World Cup since 2002 Rivaldo Ronaldo. Dembele is finding his form right now. France seems inevitable. Now, we'll see what happens between Spain and Belgium. Spain have not conceded this entire tournament. Styles make fights, right? But the problem with France is they can fight you any style.
I feel like France kind of, because remember, they were coming up the game against Paraguay where they only won 1-0. It was a penalty by Mbappe. And, let's not forget, the U.S. kicked the shit out of that Paraguay team. And I feel like yesterday, France kind of announced to everyone, hey, like we're still France.
They've played in all sorts of weather so far this tournament. They have been all over the map. They are just a machine. They seem inevitable, but that is not what this sport is. You can get dragged in the mud. A call can go the other team's way. Right now, they are heavy favorites on DraftKings Sports, I think with good reason. Mbappe flatly seems unstoppable, and there's a reason for that, because he is. In the World Cup, he's unstoppable. No one can stop him. Even in defeat, you cannot stop Kylian Mbappe. We are seeing in this World Cup, more than any that I can ever remember, the superstars living up to the billing. And that is so great for the sport. Erling Haaland has become one of the most famous people in America. And it's not just how he looks. Yes, he's a curiosity, no doubt. But it's because he's awesome. There's a lot of fun stories in the World Cup. A lot of personalities that people are drawn to. They're also not just kicking ass left and right at the World Cup. And for Mbappe to do what he's doing, for Messi to do what he's doing, you look at the leading goal scorers in this tournament, they're all recognizable names to casual sports fans.
So who are we rooting for this weekend?
I think we want to see Spain beat Belgium because Spain has not conceded this tournament. So if we're saying Kylian Mbappe is unstoppable.
Yeah, can you score against these guys?
That's, irresistible
today.
force.
That's today, by the way.
Immovable object. I want to see, and those are two big-time brands.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last double match day of the tournament is on Saturday.
Yep.
Where, unfortunately, Colombia didn't make the party. The Swiss versus Argentina, a lot less compelling than that would have been.
I mean, you remember I poured one out for the Colombian fans.
Good fans.
Dave, they got really good fans, Colombia. We're going to miss them.
I am fascinated by Norway, England. Dave, you and I spoke a little bit about a Mexico-England match that, while I don't think I completely hit it pitch perfect in terms of the theater and the drama, it was pretty damn close.
Oh, I think you did. Maybe there was a hint of some hyperbole when you said the biggest event in the history of sport, but it definitely was hyped up. and exceeded the expectations. By the way, that's my big takeaway above everything else about this World Cup after seeing the atmosphere and how hyped it was and how it lived up to it. The NFL needs a team in Mexico City. Mexico City needs to be in the NFL. It's more plausible, too, than a team in London or somewhere
Team
anywhere
in London
in Europe.
is so stupid.
I mean, you can kind of do the math on it, especially as they get back to supersonic jets or whatever you call it. What was that? The Concorde. Remember they had the Concorde? Maybe you guys are all too young to remember that. I don't know why it went away. Well, it was dangerous is why it went away. But why we can't update the technology to make it a little bit safer to get across the Atlantic, in a couple hours? Either way, yes, Mexico City needs a team. And the thing that I have, let me be ugly American.
Go on.
As a response to Mike Ryan. I contend, and I'm not somebody, I'm including myself in this group. I have no ability. I've watched football my entire life, devoted my career to it and otherwise. I have no ability to divine who's a good offensive lineman and who isn't individually. I love when people weigh in on Anthony Munoz is the greatest left tackle of all time.
Good place to plug Football America. Go ahead.
Larry Allen is like, you have no idea. You've just heard a lot of experts say it a lot. And how do I know that it's, I feel comfy being in this group is because ask NFL players who play on the outside. They don't know either. The only people who know are the offensive linemen, are the linemen themselves and the running backs. They can figure out who actually is doing their job well. I think this obsession with the World Cup this time around, and it has deserved all the buzz that it has gotten, because it has been fascinating to watch as a novice taking a look at it. I think most people who watch soccer, I think they want to be a part of the community, and I get it, and it's cool to watch Premier League early in the morning, to go to the bar, drink pints, and pretend that you know something about Liverpool or otherwise. I think if you took the score bug off, I don't think people would be able to divine which team is good. I don't think people would be like, oh, obviously, France is obviously so much better than Switzerland. You wouldn't know that. You need the announcers to tell you, oh, that's the best player right there, and that's how we track it. True or no?
Well, okay, but the funny thing is, and the younger audience, like, Chris, certainly Jeremy, may not remember this, that's how we used to watch sports. There were no graphics on the screen, but whatever sport we're watching. In basketball, they're scoring. The score changes every 30 seconds in basketball, but it was never on the screen. You had to just
Really?
You had to just know that the Heat are up by 6. And when the other team scores, all right, I think the lead's down to 4 now. And every couple of minutes, they would pop the graphic, the score graphic, and the time, by the way, up on the screen.
I remain resentful of the imposed yellow line showing you where the first down is, because my eyes can pick up where the hash mark thing. Now I can't think of what those are called. The chains.
Again, Dave hosts Football America. Continue.
Well, we've updated the technology. I've washed away the past. But yes, that yellow line and all that, Taché, believe it or not, it was non-existent to us. This is this is why Zaz and I are so deeply informed about this and have such a deep understanding of sport.
How about baseball? In baseball, you had to know, okay, I think the count's 2-1 now. You had to keep...
Really?
Yeah, man.
These graphic, I seriously, I remember in baseball, obviously they didn't have the strike zone on the screen. That's a recent one. I feel like I remember the first down line potentially becoming a thing. But the idea that you didn't have score bugs, it blows my mind.
Dude, umpires used to, as an aid, hold up the count.
Oh,
for
yeah.
those watching at home, and they had the little clicker where they would keep track of the count.
That's how you would know.
Oh, they still have that.
But it's weird that they have that as a backup still. There's still an analog failsafe.
Oh, yeah. No, there's still the umpire over at first base, I believe, still keeps track of pitches. I know coaches do that. They'll hold the little clicker to keep the pitch count.
Where's my click?
Yeah, in case everyone in the building has forgotten the count, the home play. Hey, I got my thing here.
Yeah, I like the umpire holding up 2-2. Yep. That was great. Let's bring that back, Jack.
It's really a tough thing. I can really advocate for doing away with replay because it delays the euphoria, the instantaneous euphoria of a big moment, and that kind of sucks. It's like, wait, no flags, right? No, can we celebrate? All right, touchdown kind of effect is weird. But go back and watch old football games.
Yep.
That will be so jarring to your young eyes. The way Dick Enberg or otherwise goes, like, they'll show the replay like, oh, look like that ball hit the ground. Okay, second down. Like, they just go on with the play. They go, like, it's maddening. Like, he dropped the ball. How can you continue with the game? Clearly the ball hit the ground, but they just move on with it, and that was just a matter of course back in the day.
Football America does such a great job with alternate timelines and what if this thing happened. You need an episode where technology changed the lack thereof changed the course of history. Down here locally, Natron Means stepped out of bounds. Right, that was a game-changing play that altered that Super Bowl. There are probably dynasties built on, they didn't have the technology. I remember there was a Seahawks-Jets game that was impacted that if they merely had instant replay, it would have changed the entire playoff picture that year.
There's no such thing as the Tom Brady, all the Lombardis and everything else, if not for the Tuck rule. The Raiders advance and go to Pittsburgh for the title game the next week, And although if you talk to the Patriots on that team, they will tell you everybody outside of Drew Bledsoe understood by the end of the season that Tom Brady was the better quarterback. But money plays, and it is plausible that over the course of the offseason, they might have said, we better go back to Drew Bledsoe now. He's the one who's getting all the coin for us, as opposed to the way it rolled.
But the Tuck rule is obvious, though, Dave. Everyone knows that. That's a top shelf example. I'm talking about the Natron Means types example where Marino could have made it to another Super Bowl if they just merely had instant replay.
Listen, I can go on and on with all these examples, of course, playing this game. We just talked about, as a matter of fact, on the new Football America upcoming in a matter of minutes for your ears and for your heart. 1972, the Immaculate Reception. If they did reverse that somehow, the Dolphins maybe are imperiled. Their undefeated season is imperiled by the fact that they, in a bizarre thing, a quirk from that era was they went to, the Dolphins did, undefeated though they were, went to Pittsburgh to play the title game because they rotated who had home field. And the Raiders would have gone to, Miami, right. And so, that game was in Three Rivers. Fortunately for the Dolphins, it wasn't chilly out. It wasn't what you would expect in January for Pittsburgh. So instead, they go back to Miami to play the Raiders. They would have done that, and it would have been a home field disadvantage probably because Snake Stabler and Cliff Branch and otherwise like to sling the ball all around on that AstroTurf or the Orange Bowl versus the Dolphins who wanted to ground and pound. You might be able to make a pretty good case that the Raiders win that game. The Steelers almost beat them, and they had no business even playing in the Dolphins at that point.
It has to be such a weird thing if you're a young listener. And when I say young, I'm talking, 25, 30. If you're a young listener and to just think of the concept of watching sports and the score and the time, not at the inning, not the count, not always be on the screen. Where you just had
legitimately blows my mind. I obviously this had to have happened. It makes sense. Graphics change. The way that TV works change. We see so many different things now than we saw 10 years ago. But the concept of having to watch this game and simply rely on whether or not the play-by-play broadcaster was updating me frequently enough
every couple
as if
minutes,
it were radio.
And every couple minutes,
well, that's why Vince
flash
Scully had
the
it.
Score on the screen.
But this makes sense. Vince Scully always talked about how he had like a little timer, and he would flip it over, and the moment that the sand ran out, he would update the score. That was just how he went about doing the game.
That's still kind of
Zaz
a thing
and I,
on radio.
brain muscles. Our brain muscles were trained, like building a bicep. We got good at keeping track of the score.
Yeah.
You kids don't know how easy you have it. Yeah, right? But by the way, Mike, to your point, we can do recent history. The 2020, the critical play of last football season is the 2-point conversion up in Seattle. If they don't convert that, the whole playoffs in the NFC side arrange differently. I mean, the Seahawks probably don't go to the Super Bowl.
Soccer is made so much worse, though, by the technology. Look, you have the hand of God. I get that. Again, like the
What
tuck
a
rule,
play.
top shelf example of why you need review. But offside, in particular, there is no discernible advantage that someone has by having, a toe over the
It should be
offside
your
line.
feet being behind, right? Like if your shoulder or head are over, who gives a shit, right?
I don't like how precise it is. I think
I'm
there
with
should
you.
be a
But where's the
margin
line,
there.
then?
Well,
The line is the line. The last defender. That's the line.
that
But,
is
like,
supposed
where's
to
the
be
line on the body?
But like
I think if your feet are behind it, that's all that should matter.
I'm sure if you go through history, you can cite egregious examples where a goal was allowed, where the player was offside, and it was obvious to
Definitely.
everyone.
Definitely.
Here's a good one for you, Mike. I'm going through them. I have dozens. I
Go
could
on.
sit here and do this for the next 3 days and do this. How about, as a longtime Browns fan, this probably is prior to you tuning in, but are you aware of the drive, John Elway and all of that? They go to overtime, and Rich Karlis, barefoot as he was, which is one of the great chapters in sports history, that for a decade, at the start of the 80s, they go, let's make our white golf balls orange, and let's have our place kickers take off their shoe and sock. Why? I have no idea. And okay, maybe it would work in Miami or LA, but in January in Cleveland, Rich Karlis, is that definitely in the mud and cold? In other words, that's your best bet to have your stinking toes out there kicking the ball? And he kicked the ball, and if you watch the replay, it sure looks like it would have hit the upright and not gone through, but they say it's good, and the Broncos go on to the Super Bowl. The Browns could have been in the Super Bowl if we had replay looking at those. By the way, back to my my fix for the goalposts. Let's just complete the rectangle. Let's put a crossbar at the top too. Then you got to make it through the rectangle. Now, no guesswork, and it raises the standard for place kickers. Now it's not just getting it through those things, but into the square or into the rectangle.
The hardest was, like, baseball was the hardest without the graphics, because not only did you have to know the score, not only did you have to know the inning, not only did you have to know the count, but the only way that you knew if there were base runners is if the guy was on second. You could see the guy chilling on second, but like, I think there might be someone on third. I'm not sure, Like, you didn't know how many base runners were on.
Marlins always have base runners on.
All right, give me a little bit. Go ahead. Give me a little bit more on the Marlins.
They've got the most sweeps of anyone in the National League, tied with the Dodgers. They've swept 7 different teams, including back-to-back sweeps. They've won 6 in a row. It's unbelievable. Otto Lopez just set the record for the most hits before the All-Star break in team history. And the bigger one, he's got 40 multi-hit games in the first half. The last guy to do that before the All-Star break was Jose Altuve in 2014.
All right, I'll get back to you on the Marlins stuff. I know you got a lot. All right, I'll get back to you. I don't know if you guys saw this. All right, a video went viral yesterday so it's this video from like a basketball, like a youth camp, all right, a basketball camp, and you have the basketball coach, and the kids are all sitting on the court and they're watching, and the coach is teaching them how to defend one of the other youths, all right, and the kids dribbling, and the coach is teaching them how to play defense. This video went viral yesterday because NBA players, current and former, they're like all responding to it. And give this a watch and tell me what you think they're responding to.
Watch my footwork. Go. Go. What did I do with my feet? I turned and foot over foot. I get here before he does. What do I want him to do?
Cross.
I want him to change directions. Can he keep going?
No, sir.
Why not?
Because it's out of bounds.
Because there's an out of bounds here. That's my helper. That's another defender. So I got to get to another defender as fast as possible, so he has to change. If I don't get there, watch what happens. Oh, he's going to beat. Guys, I know you guys have other coaches teach you this. Is this good?
Yes, it is good.
Is this efficient? That's been taught since, 1897. Does it work?
It does work.
This is insane. I hadn't watched this full thing. I didn't think he's at least acknowledging the proper way.
Right. He's saying everyone else is wrong. I'm right.
To me, that's better than I'm teaching it the right. I thought it was going to be this is the right way to do it. At least he's acknowledging. This is a little better than I was expecting because he's at least.
I think it makes it worse.
No, he's at least acknowledging this is what people say. I thought he was just like, no, this is the right way, and it's clearly not. I actually feel better about it at the end with the.
I think it's worse like that.
It's terrible. This is a Key and Peele sketch, is it not?
For people who are listening, Mike, like describe for people who don't see the video.
He's
describe.
turning his entire hips and running like in a sprint.
He's
to
crossing
the sideline.
one foot over the other.
Yeah, and he's saying like, "Hey, he's not wrong. Use the out of bounds as a defender." And he's saying the most insane part to me is he's saying like, you want the person you're defending to cross and go in the other direction. Well, that puts you at a severe disadvantage if your hips are turned to the other. All he has to do is cross and leaves you in the dust.
You might actually break your ankle if the guy crosses you over.
The still shot we have right now is so perfect. Of like, it's the worst defensive position you could be in.
Like, all you have to do is cross the ball to your left hand there, and you take it straight to the cup.
And so, like, this isn't just a bunch of, out of shape dudes who are busting on this coach and his defensive, lesson
They're doing
here.
What on the coach?
NBA players are all responding and being like incredibly critical of what's going on here in this video. It's awful.
We don't need to do the thing where you and I haven't put our hand in the dirt and we need the NBA players to chime in on this because we haven't played the game. We've played the game enough to know. We've watched the game enough to know. I don't need to be Jaylen Brown to know that's not how you defend.
It's yes, you defend by sliding your feet. And is it hard? Yeah, because defense is hard. Yes. But the way to defend, you can't run to the spot you think he's going to. That's Dave, have you ever seen anything like this?
Zaz, help defense. You know how to you know what you're doing?
I mean, I played basketball in high school. I know how to play.
All right. Yeah, no, I think it's crazy. But what it is making me think, just to devil's Damashek it a little bit, what other things in sports were like, well, that's how you do it. And then that was blown up. It's like, well, now we do it this way instead. You mentioned, Mike, put your hand in the dirt. Wide receivers, you can go back and watch old tape. Like the receivers would be in a 3-point stance coming off the line of scrimmage.
Really?
It's bizarre. Yeah, it's bizarre to look at. Yeah, in our lives, there are guys, you'll see them lined up that way. It's that. I'm trying to think of, imagine Taché, the first guy who, Brian Downing is a name that I summoned from my youth, who had that wide open, that ridiculous kind of state. Well, Tony Fernandez was, you guys got to watch him, right? Mm-hmm. They basically look like they're just standing at the plate facing the pitcher.
I miss those guys.
As he winds up, he digs it. That's why are you doing that to yourself, man? It's like Ricky Williams playing high. Isn't that making the sport harder for you to have to stand like this? And then when the pitch comes, now you lean into it? Weird.
I miss the guys who had the crazy stance. Like, who was it? Was it Euclid that used to keep his one hand in on the top of the barrel?
I think it was before the pitch, his hand would kind of just be his hand would be resting at the top of his other hand.
So it was like this. He would stand here,
right,
and then he would hold the bat.
Yeah.
Up on the bat.
He'd hold his upper hand in the middle of the barrel.
We need better batting stances. That way we need the return to the day when you had the Cobra. Dave Parker was the Cobra because his bat made like a cobra, made like a poisonous snake about to strike. Like this, it would go around. And then if you were unfortunate enough to be out there on the hump, you got bitten again by the Cobra. Now a Hall of Famer.
All right, give us a little bit more on the Marlins. It's a good opportunity on the Marlins here since we're mentioning baseball. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Joe Mack, they're 26-14 since he got called up and started as a catcher. Every game that he starts, they're better. They went from the bottom 5 in baseball in defensive metrics to right near the top, and that includes how good their pitching has been. But offensively, what they've been able to do, Owen Casey was on a tear before he got sent to the IL. Now, Griffin Conine
I know you got a lot on the Marlins. All right, I'll get back to you.
Heriberto Hernandez, fourth best OPS in baseball for right-handed hitters.
Marlins are bad for baseball.
All right.
Marlins are bad for baseball.
Okay.
What is wrong with you?
All right,
Damashek?
Jeremy, remind me. I'll get back to you. Okay, I'll get back to you.
All right.
So, big news yesterday with the NBA. The Kawhi Leonard trade is now officially on hold. Kawhi Leonard was traded for Brandon Ingram and Grady Dick, and a first-round pick swap, and I think 2 other first-round picks. And that trade is now on hold pending the findings of the NBA's investigation into the Clippers and Kawhi and Uncle Dennis and aspiration. The Raptors were warned that they would have to assume, if they make this trade, that they would have to assume responsibility for whatever penalties are assessed. So you would assume that means, okay, if we decide to suspend Kawhi Leonard for 40 games, he's going to have to sit it out for you. Like, are you good with that? And so the Raptors said, okay, let's chill. We're going to wait until this investigation concludes. So my first question here is, Pablo broke this story 10 months ago. 10 months ago. And the NBA still said this could take another few weeks. Another few weeks? This was 10 months ago. I got to be honest. At that point, once Pablo started coming out with all the details, how is it taking more than a day to figure out what we're going to do about this situation? Put somebody in a room, give them all the documents that Pablo's uncovered, give them a few phone numbers of the parties who need to be spoken to. You got till COB. That's close of business. You got till COB. Come up with a resolution. We're 10 months later, and we don't have an answer to this situation yet. What the hell are we doing, Adam Silver? What are we doing?
I just was hoping there would be one more go-around from Zaz to see if he could achieve an even higher octave. Listen, yeah, you're absolutely right. This is a classic case of just hoping it goes away. Let's just ignore it long enough, and then it'll just vanish. It's sort of my strategy if I were on the cut line on an NFL team and they were like, hey, take your playbook and go see coach, I would just forget my playbook conveniently. And they'd be like, we need that playbook before we let you out of the building. And then I would just never return the playbook. And then it'd be like mid-September and be like, oh, he's still on the team. He never turned in his playbook. Yeah, this is crazy stuff, but that's just the tip of the iceberg with what's going to be with Kawhi. This ugliness is now staining the entire league, obviously. And the long and short of it is there's no way the Clippers can move Kawhi, right? There's not a single team out there that would be desperate enough. I mean, would the Miami Heat take your team? Would the Heat be willing to take that risk with Giannis at his age and you want as ripe as they feel right now? Is Kawhi a swing you would advocate for?
We figured out JFK in under 10 months. We closed that case.
No, we didn't.
We're still on Kawhi.
No, we didn't. It's cute, though. Yeah, but I think the headline here is that this trade could be totally undone. That
is undone.
It could
it's
be.
On hold.
It's on hold, and I still think many people would
welcome back to the team, Grady Dick.
I think many people would handicap it that no, this trade will eventually get done. But from the statements, now it appears the Toronto Raptors reserve the right to walk away from this deal. Hey, man, that's really cool. I wish other teams in the NBA had something like that afforded to them. But okay, maybe we're in an unprecedented time here. But it's not a foregone conclusion that Kawhi is reuniting with the Toronto Raptors. This is a pretty big deal. And from what we've learned from Pablo's reporting, is that a lot of the finger pointing was in the direction of Kawhi. That's the way that this investigation appears to be slanted in, because as you know, in the NBA, this isn't an impartial investigation. The Clippers and Ballmer himself are paying for this investigation. They are incentivized to point the blame elsewhere.
So here's what's going to happen. Kawhi is definitely still going to be traded to the Toronto Raptors.
He is? Why?
Well, I mean, do you think Kawhi's, like, what could the punishment...
You think the compensation's going to look the same?
No.
Well,
that's what's going to change.
Well, that's a slippery slope, my friend.
That's what's going to change. And, of course, what Mike is referring to here is it'd be nice if there was a precedent where, like, a team, I don't know, let's pick any random team.
The Heat are close by. Let's use them.
Let's pick the Heat, okay? And if they made a trade with another team for a player who that player's team, let's pick another team?
They played the Hornets in the play-in.
Hornets, fine. The Heat wanted to make a trade for a player on the Hornets. And the Hornets knew that the FBI and the league also knew that the FBI were investigating said player. It'd be nice if the Miami Heat, in this made-up instance, were told, hey, something's happening here, so you can make this trade, or do you want to wait until there's a resolution? Because otherwise, you're going to have to assume responsibility for, if the player is arrested by the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Didn't that happen with Terry Rozier?
Wow. Give yourself a hand. I mean, you're an effing detective. Look at you. Sherlock Holmes over there. Good for you. So,
but that opens the door. If the compensation changes, the entire composition of the deal does, and that allows other teams to be like, well, we can top that.
Well, the deal has not been canceled. It's on hold. So I don't think other teams then would be able to jump in.
But if the compensation changes,
I do think the compensation will change.
Stands to reason. Maybe they come up with a deal where the Raptors reserve the right of first refusal, but this is potentially seismic, and it's the first open acknowledgement that Kawhi might be on the hook for some of this, because we all thought, well, this is an awfully convenient landing spot for Kawhi. You get the feels, you get the nostalgia. That seems to be the good place for him to end up. And now this gives more credence, not that the Pulitzer didn't, by the way, to the reporting of Pablo Torre.
Here's what's going to wind up happening. Like, if they wind up suspending Kawhi Leonard, maybe it's 30 games, maybe it's 40 games, the Raptors are not going to have a problem with that, because Kawhi's going to miss those games anyway because of injury. So that's not an issue. Now, the Raptors are now not going to have to pay Kawhi for those missed games, when otherwise they would have to pay him if he missed the games for injury. So they're not going to care if Kawhi is suspended for a part of the season, but they're then going to go to the Clippers and say, yeah, those first-round picks that we were going to give you, we're pulling one back.
Also, in the Clippers' statement, they continue to play the role of victim. We were victimized. We were taking advantage of scam artists, whereas Pablo Torre finds out reporting suggests that the Clippers had certainly knowledge of how they were trying to circumvent, allegedly, the NBA salary cap. And it still is curious to me, especially considering Pablo Torre finds out won a Pulitzer for their journalism on this matter, which kind of is a tough thing to buck up against. They're still maintaining that, no, we were taken for a ride just like all the other victims here in Aspiration.
How in the world are we still doing this? I can't believe it. Although I kind of can believe it, because we know the commissioner is on nothing, all right? This Adam Silver is on nothing, as evidenced by everything that has been in front of you these last few minutes.
And you've made this situation, which should have been a good way to get away from the controversy post-discipline, and you've made that a bigger mess because you didn't have any of this stuff resolved before the transaction. Think about what that did to the trade market, guys. I'm sure there were a lot of teams that would have been curious to see how they could fit Kawhi into their plans, but many teams didn't even kick the tires on it because this thing was hanging over it.
It is very clear how this thing should, I don't know if it will, it's very clear how this thing should end with Kawhi Leonard, Aspiration, the Clippers, the Raptors, and that's the NBA and the Hornets giving the Miami Heat their first-round pick back.
Las Vegas, listen up. Don't miss UFC 329 tomorrow night. Join Tony and Lewis live from Stadium Swim at Circa as MMA Hangout covers Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway. Catch them at 8 Fremont Street or watch it live on the Le Batard Show YouTube channel starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Vegas time.
I think I have to watch this tomorrow. I saw yesterday you had the press conference, the stare down. I guess today will be weigh-ins, but yesterday you had the press conference and Conor McGregor. He's trying to portray himself that he's back, right?
Yeah, he's trying to portray himself like many who have gone through the things that he's gone through, try to clean up their image after the fact, and we'll see if he still has it in the ring. Tomorrow's an incredible sports day.
Yeah.
He's trying to clean up his image by walking up to Max Holloway and ripping his sunglasses off his face.
That's actually fine. Like, you pay to see that with Conor McGregor.
Trying to clear up his image by fighting in a cage.
No, I'm saying by being religious, and you wonder, the motivations behind that.
Look at him right here, walking up, getting in his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you want to see with Conor McGregor. That's part of the appeal. And so we'll see if he still has it. Paddy the Batty, I think, is on the same card. So naturally,
I like him. He's fun.
Naturally, even if McGregor loses, so as long as he doesn't embarrass himself out there.
You guys want to see the angle from the glasses here?
I do.
This is the glasses.
That's scary.
That's the last thing cocaine sees.
That's scary. Yeah, so Max Holloway's wearing the glasses. Why is he wearing a bulletproof vest? Is that a bulletproof vest?
Yeah.
All right.
You never know.
You got to be safe. Everybody likes safety. Tomorrow's a great sports day. We got the 2 World Cup games. You got the MMA. You'll check out Tony on the Le Batard Show YouTube channel tomorrow, and Lewis.
Let's get the football already. Hey, man, I'm
we're getting
chomping
close.
at the bit. This has been great. The World Cup has been a pleasant distraction for me. We do have Mizorowski and Skeens on Sunday too. Mike Ryan even texted me. He has no reason to even be interested.
Yeah,
in it.
12:15 on Peacock. Our show is found on Peacock, and I'm really excited about checking that out because Sunday, no World Cup matches, and you want to see 2 names. I know Skeens is not up to snuff, right, this season, but he's still appointment television, especially with who he's going up against and the fact that they're just going to be throwing gas.
Dave, I
thought Taché wanted to shout something from the rooftop.
Yeah, I was visually pointing at Michael, like, go on, man. This is great. Yay,
right.
baseball.
It's the same cue as, hey,
yeah,
I
that's
wanna
on
speak,
me. I should have made eye contact.
I mean, rare the occasion where you don't, so I naturally assume
I was flabbergasted by the fact.
Would
that
you like to talk more Marlins?
I would, but
all right. I'll remind me to get to that. Okay. I will. I'll come back to you in a moment for that.
Bad for baseball.
Dave, I do want to get your opinion on something we talked about yesterday. I don't know if you saw this. The Carolina Hurricanes, they won the Stanley Cup. It sounds like you know the direction I'm going in. So we talked about this yesterday where they're at the point now in the summer where the players are going to get their days with the cup because the names have all been engraved. They've done that for the 2026 Stanley Cup champion Carolina Hurricanes. And the top 2 lines on the Stanley Cup with names is the owner, Tom Dundon, who also very famously now owns the Portland Trail Blazers and is a world-renowned cheapskate when it comes to his professional sports teams. And it's Tom Dundon, it's his wife, and then the names of his 5 children all take up the top 2 lines on the Stanley Cup. Did you see this, Dave Damashek?
Of course I did, and of course I'm disgusted by it. As I always say, it's the grotesquely wealthy against the rest of us. Well, where are the rules? This is as bad as anything James Dolan did. Charles Oakley and all of that. Etching a kindergartner's name into the Stanley Cup, into the greatest trophy ever known to man, way better than that dumb World Cup trophy. It's challenged only by the Heisman Trophy, and even that's a reach. It bears the names Orr and Lemieux, which, by the way, if you translate the word Lemieux, it equals the best. That's what it translates into, and that's in fact true. It was sullied by the word Devils, and furthermore by the word Lightning. But this is a new low for the glorious Stanley Cup, which, by the way, I'm in Pittsburgh, as I mentioned, and I pointed out to my kids the other day, that's the bar where the Stanley Cup made its entrance at closing time one time, and we drank Iron City out of it, and we picked it up over our heads. They couldn't have given a shit about it. But still, It's a glorious trophy, and now dirtied by a kindergartner's name.
It's disgusting. It really is disgusting. And before people say, Zaslow, the previous 2 years, the Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup. Vinny Viola's name is on it, and so are his 3 sons. Yeah, you know what? They're alternate governors of the team. They work for the team. They have titles. They're actual employees of the Florida Panthers. So, of course, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty certain the 7-year-old Dundon does not work for the team. It's a disgrace.
No one's correcting you.
Good. All right.
And I won't correct Dave on his World Cup trophy take. It's a terrible trophy.
Is it?
Yeah,
well, among the many things, it looks like Rolo candy wrapper, like bunched up at the bottom, and also the scale. Yeah, right. There you go. It looks like a deodorant, like a Rolly antiperspirant, and the scale of it. It's the size of a brick of like the original mobile phone. That's about the size of it. That's not grand.
They hand it out every 4 years, and it should be immense in size. I don't know if you saw the Club World Cup trophy that's hanging out in the Oval Office. Like, that meets the moment. This one's pretty small and laughable.
Is there a chance?
It's round up top.
Is there a chance that Messi demanded it be small so it doesn't look?
No,
big?
You idiot! It's been around longer.
Boy,
May
between
have been a new one.
I mean, between the Heat Hornets and now this comment from you, boy, my goodness, you're having a banner last few minutes. Put it on the poll, Juju. Does the World Cup trophy look like roll-on deodorant?
And Fake Joe Zagaki's furious that you trampled his flat Earth joke.
I have to show this video to you guys that I've been trying to get to for a few days now. He's in Vegas. I have to get to this video.
You guys
here.
should be way more esteemed as a sports town that you are the Miami Hurricanes and your rival hockey team stole your favorite college football team's name. It's outrageous. Get to your clip, I'm offended on your behalf.
You've done this bit already. So
I know I've done a bit. Life's not a bit, Zaslow.
So a few days I've been trying to get to this video.
They don't have Hurricanes in Tulsa.
There is this play-by-play camp for teenagers, all right? I guess it takes place over the summer. And there's this video that's circulated around this week. I don't know if you've seen this, Dave Damashek, where one of the campers, looks like he's maybe 14 or 15 years old. He's standing up in front of the room. And for the audio audience, the classroom, is filled with all the students who are encapsulated by what is happening in front of them with this student, who behind this student is a projection screen. And it has, I think it's maybe the Bengals. It has the Bengals schedule from Pro Football Reference from like 2009, because this kid has claimed that he can name every team's schedule, win-loss per week, their record since the year 2009. Going back to 2009. What? Any team, and give him any week, he will tell you who that team played any year and if they won or lost the game.
Born? Like
Maybe.
We're trying to guess ages
17
here?
years ago, maybe. Yeah, it looks like he's maybe around that age. So they're putting him to the test. They put him up in front of the class. They're now going to ask him the questions and have him say who they played that week, that year, and if they won. Give this a listen and watch.
Lost to the Jets. What? Week 2, they lost to the Texans. Oh! Week 3, okay, hold up. Give me a sec. Okay, no, I'm not forgetting. I just need to remind myself. Oh, they lost to the Pats. Yeah. Before they lost to the Dolphins in London. Week 5, they had to bye. Week 6, okay. Okay. Oh, week 6, they lost to the Chargers. Yeah. Oh, week 7 they lost to the Cardinals. Week 8 they lost to the Browns.
That's unbelievable.
These kids are going nuts, too. Like, every one of them has their phone out recording, knowing the moment that's happening in front of them.
Unbelievable. Now, clearly, it's like a Rain Man type of deal, you know? And this kid, his brain clearly works in a much different, like a more advanced way than all of our brains work.
We think it's photographic memory? Like it almost felt like at one point when he said like, no, I just got to remind myself. It was like he was like scrolling back in the recesses of his mind looking for photos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like scrolling through a camera roll. Like, no, I'm going to find it. When was that? When did I see that one? It's unbelievable. Like to be able to recall all of that. And it is so cool for that kid to get that moment where everyone is like losing their mind.
It's so cool. And like NFL analysts and media personalities over the last few days are all retweeting it in comments. The best thing you'll see today. This kid's amazing. Dave, how cool. Had you seen that yet?
Sincerely. No, that's the first I've seen of it. And that is great. What he is doing is getting as best as he's going to get the reflected sort of the cheers of people and everything else. Good for him. He's probably not destined to be a professional athlete, and neither am I. So I can relate to that as a nerd. That's wonderful stuff. And like we talked about on Football America upcoming today, that's better than the guy who starts the wave at a game. Or do we agree that guy, he gets some attention and he feels proud of himself, but it's misplaced? If that's an achievement in your life, there's something wrong with your life that you got a wave going, right?
Well, Chris Cody has mentioned he takes pride in being that guy who gets the wave started.
You've started multiple waves, have you?
Usually takes 2 or 3 cracks. You never get it the first time.
Do you tell your friends? Well, apparently you do brag about it after the fact.
But starting a chant at a game is better than starting a wave, right? In terms of the feeling. Like if you start the let's go XYZ team here, does that feel better?
No, not starting a chant. Like on third down, though, if you're the first one in your section to stand up and get everybody up. Like,
you then tell everybody to get up?
Oh, you're the one.
Let's go. Now you're making it about you. Anybody who starts a standing
helping the
ovation
team
anywhere is celebrating themselves as much as they are the person that they are allegedly cheering for. It's like, look at me, I'm a better human being because I am raising to my feet to applaud for you. And as I've talked about for many, many years now, what goes on at the Cannes Film Festival when they give 20-minute standing ovations? Who has the time for that? 20 minutes. And then I used to question it. Well, that's not real. They're exaggerating. And then I've now seen video. 20 minutes for Brendan Fraser because he gained some weight and put on a fat suit. Now, what did I think he has to weep because he's so touched by it? Standing ovations. Fat.
It's supposed to be a really good movie, though. The Whale, right? I never saw it. Yeah, whatever.
Wasn't for me.
Heat got theirs.
Yeah, all right. Mike,
I'm excited for the Odyssey, though, Zaz.
Oh, don't even get me. Don't even get me started yet on the Odyssey, all right? I'm seeing the Odyssey next week. I said don't get me started. I'm seeing the Odyssey next week. Obviously, I'm going opening night. I always see a movie on opening night. If there's a movie coming out that you really want to see and you don't go on opening night, you're a huge loser. You got to go opening nights. I got my seats all ready for opening night. Of course, I'm seeing it. Mike Ryan, I'm seeing it on the 70-millimeter screen because that's how it was meant to be seen, right?
You're going to the museum IMAX?
No. I guess the local theater by me has one of the 70-millimeter screens.
Yeah, you live in a really fancy zip code.
I'm trying, man. I told you. Come on, man. I'm trying.
He has a mansion.
Best movie on opening night to see, Zaz, in the history of your life. Which was the most satisfying? I'm glad I saw this before anything. Like, I'm here on Friday night surrounded by people.
Well, that's always going to be a superhero movie because you don't want the movie spoiled for you, right? That's why you got to see that right away because otherwise, you find out, like take, for instance, Avengers Infinity War. You wait a couple weeks, see it, it's like, oh, man, Thanos won? He snapped everyone? You're gonna find that out if you don't go right away. So it's the superhero movies you got to see immediately.
What I was looking for was because when you said that you got to be there on opening night, I did that with Pulp Fiction, and thank goodness I did because the open in the diner and then those words bum bum.
And you didn't want the GIMP scene spoiled for you,
right? Well, but it was more just the Pulp Fiction dropping down in that font like it did, and you knew it was just a different movie right out of the gate. And I'm glad I didn't hear any hype about it in advance. It was a singularly a great experience. I think that's the number one movie that I saw.
It's my favorite movie.
It harkens back to what's playing out right now with Christopher Nolan, in that.
Why are people panning this movie before it's come out?
Well, because of the Elliot Page stuff. But
Panning this movie.
But I think right now all the big midnight releases and all the excitement over big box office blockbusters are usually because something has existing IP. It's usually a comic book movie, or a sequel or a remake of some sort.
I mean, this does Odyssey,
no,
right?
I know it has existing Odyssey, but the draw here is not the Odyssey. People have tried to tackle this book and the IP that it comes from. It's famously difficult with mixed results. People are going to this because it's Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
People are going to this because they trust this filmmaker in ways they don't trust other filmmakers. It's him. It's Tarantino. Although the box office success of Christopher Nolan certainly surpasses. Now he definitely dipped his hand into superhero lore, and that's how he kind of helped build his name.
But it wasn't really a superhero movie.
Right, but he is now the draw. It's not the actors in the film.
Correct.
It's not even what the film is about.
You'll see whatever
Half
he
the
makes.
time with Christopher Nolan non-superhero movies, we don't know what it's about. Sometimes with Tenet, we still don't know what it's about.
That movie sucks. I don't want to hear anyone say
worst
otherwise.
film. It's his worst film.
It's a terrible movie.
But Inception, you're like, I trust the guy. Leo was a draw there. Christopher Nolan, different story arc. But now everyone understands. He's recognized. He's won Academy Awards. I am going to see this movie because of the filmmaker.
Yep.
That doesn't happen.
Ironically, when you asked the question, like The Dark Knight was my experience where I still feel like going opening night is the best opening night experience I've ever
The Dark
had
Knight.
watching
The
a
Dark
movie.
Knight Rises. The Dark Knight. Yeah, Dark Knight Rises for me was one of my favorite movie-going experiences.
Yeah.
like as far as just
Now is not the time for fear, brother.
the crowd and everyone enjoying it together. Dark Knight Rises, one
Maybe
of my
that's
favorite
because of
experiences.
the hype that
Yeah.
was going into it after the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And like for me, I was still in middle school when the Dark Knight came out, and so I was like, I believe going into 8th grade, and over the summer going to see it with friends, not really being a superhero movie kid at that moment, and then experiencing that Heath Ledger performance and just being mesmerized by everything that movie was. So then, yes, when you get to high school, now it's like, oh my God, The Dark Knight Rises is coming. I can't wait. There's all the posters everywhere. I remember I took a picture next to a cardboard cutout of Batman. It was incredible. And like every Christopher Nolan movie, to Mike's point, like those are ones that you want to go see in the theater and on opening night because you know everyone's hyped about it.
There are filmmakers that no matter what, you're going to be in the theater because I want to respect this filmmaker for what he does. I trust the art.
Well, who else is it? It's Nolan.
It's Nolan.
It's
Quentin
Spielberg.
Yeah, well, Spielberg, I'll do that. P.T. Anderson, no doubt, but no one to the box office success and scale that Christopher Nolan does. Christopher Nolan, I think, is the biggest director in cinema right now. He is the chief draw. Whereas
we did it on Football America with Zaz and Amin. Mike Ryan, how say you? 1, 2, 3. Paul Thomas Anderson, Chris Nolan, Quentin Tarantino. You can only watch number one choice. You can watch his movies whenever you want. The second choice, you can watch his movies once every year, once a year. The other one, never his movies again.
So this is like the F, Marry, Kill type of game for. So I think the one that you go to be able to rewatch whenever you want is Quentin Tarantino because of the writing and the quotables and the fact that I have watched those movies multiple times and I never get sick of them. Nolan is the one that I want to watch occasionally. P.T. Anderson, great filmmaker, but that would be the one that I'm killing off.
Oh my God! Goodbye, Boogie Nights forever.
Yep.
Shame the devil.
Well, look, it's not an easy choice. There are a couple of filmmakers that I trust: Ari Aster, Robert Eggers, Quentin Tarantino, no doubt, but no one does it like Nolan. No one does it like, I have to see this Nolan picture. I have to see it in the theaters. I have to catch it as soon as I possibly can. No one is doing it like him.
Yeah, I saw people are upset. I mean, the movie hasn't even come out yet. Like Tom Holland is tweeting back and forth with Elon Musk. You know, like, can we please let the movie come out before we, critique it? But so people are upset about Elliot Page, right? And people are upset. That they're speaking proper English instead of the English that was written in Homer's The Odyssey, right? Making the movie so that I can understand it.
Right. Oh, don't you, Dave, do you always get confused as to how these kind of Mediterranean period pieces that tap into Greek mythology, they all have the same made-up accent. In Troy, Brad Pitt's accent, what is that? Now you know who you're fighting. And everyone talks like that, and it's just assumed. It's not of a region at all. It's not an English accent. It is just an accent that talks like this. And we're just to accept that. In 300, even though Butler did a terrible job of masking his own accent in that, like always, they all talk like we are warriors. We have to fight. What part of the world is this accent from?
Costner's Robin Hood, the range of accents of all the actors in that is maybe the funniest one of all. But yeah, you're right. And I like that, whatever region, as long as it's outside these United States, everybody traditionally just has an English accent. Inexplicably, no matter where they are located in Europe, it's an English accent they always have. It's what people are upset about, Zaz, is that Aphrodite is played by a black woman.
Oh, it's Lupita Nyong'o, right?
Yeah, that's what they're upset about.
I mean, come on.
There's
Like,
other things.
gives a shit. She's a really good actress.
Look, I don't care if it's not Achilles. In my mind, it's Achilles. that person. I don't do pronouns.
This is based in
that one. You know the one that I'm talking about. It's Achilles.
This is based in Greece, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the Greek person that we all know is black, and Giannis.
Oh, I see what you did there.
I mean, no, but I mean, like, I just don't understand. Like, everyone in America
either.
being like, oh my God, a black woman playing a Greek person.
Do you think he's in the movie?
Yeah, I think Giannis is in the movie for sure.
Travis Scott's in the movie.
Oh, that's right. He is.
Really?
Yes, he is. Mike's being serious. He is.
Kind of awesome.
Yeah, he's like a background character,
Yeah,
right?
Sean Avery. Christopher Nolan always cast Sean Avery in his films.
I can't tell if you're being serious.
No, you don't know that? Sean Avery's been in, I think, multiple...
The hockey player?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Dog, what?
What?
You gaslighting me? Yeah, Sean Avery.
Are you gaslighting me?
Mm-hmm. Sean Avery's in movie. He was in Oppenheimer. There was a scene in... I know Dave Damashek, who is both a cinephile and a puckhead, recognized one scene like, wait a second, is that Sean Avery?
It's bizarre, yeah. Aaron Rodgers was also in Game of Thrones. That's another rando cameo.
Oh, but wasn't he under... Was he under a mask, Aaron Rodgers, in Game of Thrones? I don't remember this.
What, Aaron Rodgers or Sean Avery?
Both.
Sean Avery is indeed in the Odyssey. Sean Avery.
You know what I watched? You know what was on last night? I'm glad. I love when cable channels work the same way as my brain. You know what was on last night? Victory, one of the great underregarded sports movies of all time, set in Nazi Germany. It's in. I think they play the game in somewhere in Germany. The Nazi Scourge puts together a soccer team and plays Allied prisoners. Michael Caine, Sly Stallone. It's a gem of a movie if you've not seen it. Have you seen that one? Max von Sydow is a Nazi officer's ass. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. And Hunter Pence is joining us, okay? 4-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion. He is on the broadcast on Netflix for the Home Run Derby on July 13th. And he was just smiling because he must be wondering, what the hell are we talking about? So I'm going to ask Hunter Pence to start here. Number one, are you going to see Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey when it comes out next week? That's the first question. Go ahead.
You know what? If I have time, that sounds like actually a movie I would love to see. And I was actually really remembering that Aaron Rodgers was, I think is he in the scene when Khaleesi like burned everyone down?
Yes. Hey, Hunter Pence knows
I remember
his stuff.
that. Yep. Yeah. I'm a Game of Thrones enthusiast.
And he got torched, right? He actually gets turned into ash.
I think he gets torched.
Okay,
yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, I watch Game of Thrones also. I don't remember that. But are you also aware, because I didn't know this either, Sean Avery, former hockey player, that he's been in now 3 Christopher Nolan movies? Are you aware of this?
No idea. Not aware.
Pele is in Victory. That was my point.
Okay.
Back to baseball.
Yeah. All right. There you go. So Hunter Pence joining us here. He's in his 4th season as analyst on NBC Sports Bay, of course, with the San Francisco Giants. It's a very nerdy conversation you just entered with us, Hunter Pence. What is the nerdiest thing that you do in your life?
Oh, I'm an avid like PC gamer, like Dark and Darker and Hunger, which hasn't come out yet, just had an open beta. But I am a pickleball playing, video game playing absolute I've even played what is it, Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering. I am a big ultimate nerd for sure, proudly.
So, was there ever anyone in your clubhouse that you were able to play these nerd games with?
Never did Dungeons and Dragons with any teammates, but we definitely played a lot of Magic the Gathering on flights and things because it was just like super fun to just do a draft. I know most people are playing poker and gambling. That wasn't my thing. We opened packs and played Magic the Gathering. I remember Boach walking by like, "What the hell is this?"
That is funny, man.
Lincecum seems like a Magic the Gathering kind of guy.
Yeah, had to be Lincecum.
Yeah, Lincecum into that.
No, Lincecum's like a FIFA PlayStation guy.
Like, are you watching anime also? Are you into that stuff?
I don't watch anime, unfortunately.
That's too nerdy.
I'm more of a I'm like sports and I live to play, so I'm playing games usually.
Well, you're on the broadcast on Netflix July 13th for the Home Run Derby. They're changing the rules a little bit this year for the Home Run Derby, right? There's not going to be a clock anymore. Do I have that right?
Absolutely. We're bringing it back. It's going to be the first round's 20 swings for all 8 contestants. They haven't announced all 8, but we've announced quite a few of them. And for me, I'm very excited. This brings it back to like when they're, the precision, the focus, the drama, and also just, not like a endurance contest and just swing as fast as you can. Hopefully they're not taking like 6 pitches or whatever the case may be. But I do remember back watching Pujols like laser focus and some of those home run derbies back in the day and just really being in awe of the precision of the skill. And so, 20 swings. The last swing, though, if you hit a home run, you keep going until you don't. And then the second round, I believe, is going to be 15 swings, and the final round, 15 swings as well.
I like that they're taking the clock out of it, Hunter, because what's happened over the last few years with the clock, you would have the split screen and like it's just swing, and like I can't really.
It's like dangerous for the kids out there because they're like throwing the next pitch when they're like tracking the previous
the
pitch.
balls are flying everywhere. Like
Exactly. Like I like to watch how far they hit it. But if they're just like, like that's not baseball. That's not even like, I mean, no offense. Like I still love the home run derbies and everything, but we don't need balls flying after balls and like not getting to sit there and see the launch that they have. And like baseball is like, it's a drama. It's a buildup. It's a focus. And so that's, I'm excited that we're bringing that back and we're going to get to actually watch the home runs that they hit. And there's going to be a lot of pressure on each of these swings. They do have to lock in. It's going to be a good contest.
We were mentioning earlier in the show, we were reminiscing about cool batting stances. And I feel like I remember you had a good looking batting stance. And it feels like today we don't get the different batting stances anymore,
I feel like there's still some very weird ones out there. I mean, shoot, I'm going over some of the swings. I'm looking at Byron Buxton, and he's kind of got the straight front leg like Bo Jackson back in the day, which doesn't make any sense to me. There was a guy that was like standing facing the pitcher. A couple years ago. I'm not sure. I can't even remember who it was. He hit like a bunch of homers for the Rockies. I'm drawing a blank right now, but there's still a lot of like wild stances. Like you watch Luis Arise, like his at bats right now for the Giants are hilarious, and especially when he gets 2 strikes, he turns into like a fighting mongoose, man. He just does not want to strike out. He's exciting. So like Julio Franco and was it Bautista had a crazy
Kevin
one.
Youkilis.
Kevin Youkilis, yeah. You're right. Mickey Tattleton is one.
Craig Counsell's batting stance was so ugly, right?
What I don't know. I have no idea what the heck they were doing. I swear I just saw one that was really weird, and I'm like, why the heck is he doing that? And they continue to get to the zone every time. But
no, we have to. If Hunter Pence is going to go on and critiquing other people the way they stand in the batter's box, I'm going to address the 800-pound gorilla in the room. What was with the socks, man? Up above the knee. Explain yourself.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. So actually, it happened in a game where back in the day, the pants that had this like thick rubber band, and I always just like to have them up because it was more comfortable. And both of my knees were bloody from sliding into bases. And so I had 2 bloody knees in these like rubber bands just gripping at the flesh, and it was like extremely painful. And I was like, geez, like I just need a relief. So I like rolled it above my knee and like kind of tried to put it down. I was like, oh, this kind of feels like a wide receiver. And the relief of like A, the bloody knees, and then B, when I started running around, I was like, this is more comfortable. This feels way better. And so I started just joking around that I was like basically a wide receiver, and I had to wear my pants like a wide receiver. And really it was mainly just functional and comfortable is why I wore it. And then I had no idea that it would ever turn into something where other people did it or a fashion statement, but it definitely felt a lot better to play like that than
I
have
didn't
them over my
care.
knees.
I didn't care for it, but I think you really did make it okay for NFL punters to go with that look. With the their pants are very short these days.
I mean, the punters, are they even like really like a football player? You know, like are we judging their uniform? No offense, but
Pence gets
I mean,
it.
they have a lot to do, but they're not like, they're important. Yeah, punters are important too.
Good save.
Is the current batting stance you were thinking of Jacob Wilson?
No, that was not
awkward,
it.
Jeremy. Damn it.
Yeah. Rafael Devers?
All right.
But he's twitchy. Jacob Wilson is twitchy and fun. There's a lot of
super weird.
You know, yeah, definitely.
Hunter, we talk about, again, aesthetics at the plate. And we were talking about when I was growing up, there was no score bug or anything else. And now if you look back at it, the screen looks empty. Is the primary reason that Major League Baseball doesn't do away with the home plate umpire aesthetics, that it would be too jarring for our eyes to just see a batter and a catcher back there? Because I contend that 10 years from now, we're going to look back at this weird era and say, why were we deferring to the opinion of whether or not that was a ball or a strike of the guy standing back there when the evidence is in front of all of our eyes in real time, whether or not it is actually a ball or a strike?
Yeah, I mean, do you still need him back there for, foul tip calls? You need him back there for, the out and safe at home plate. So I think even if we do get to an automated strike zone, I think it's kind of fun to like actually challenge the hitters and the catchers on like how well do you know the strike zone, and you only have so many challenges. I think there's drama in that. I think there's a human skill. I also think when I'm calling a game and you're watching these umpires beat the players or the players beat the umpires, it's a story, it's fun, and it hasn't taken too long, whereas like everyone's kind of enjoying how good are you at knowing the strike zone. There's reasons to add value to players or take away value if you're terrible at it. These are opportunities to showcase skill, which is part of the fun.
Hunter Pence is on the broadcast with Netflix for the Home Run Derby, July 13th. That's coming up next week, of course. Can you describe to us, you're saying, hitters identifying balls or strikes. Can you describe to us what the process is of trying to identify the pitch as it leaves the pitcher's hand, and obviously that finite amount of time until it gets across the plate?
Yeah, I mean, it's happening extremely quick. And there's an old saying, thinking mind is a heavy bat. So a lot of it is anticipation, preparation, your homework that you've done. And you got to remember, whenever you're playing, you've been, facing this velocity year in and year out every day. You're setting up the machines to kind of overtrain. There's different eye training drills I would do. I would shoot tennis balls at myself 120 miles an hour. So your eyes are a muscle that eventually like start to slow it down if you train it properly. So for the big league players, they're in rhythm with it. And so like you're looking at the miles per hour to gauge like the amount of time you have. But even that isn't exact, because sometimes the extension, like, how hard they're throwing is perceived different, but you have basically an idea there. And then you're looking for certain tunnels. So you're following their release point. I'm getting super nerdy on you here.
That's okay.
And where's he letting it go is kind of what I'm watching from the film. The film also, and the metrics will show you how much each ball is moving, and you can kind of have a guess there. So let's just say some righty has this big sinker. So I'm going to watch that sinker on film, and I'm going to be like, all right, it's going to be a ball if it starts here. It's going to be a strike if it starts here. If I'm approaching that pitch, I need it to be, and you kind of get like a window. Like imagine the box that you're looking at for the home plate. You're taking his like release point and timing his rhythm of like his up and down with like your swing. And then you're hunting like a window for that ball to start and knowing where it's going to finish. Cause it'll look like it's in one place, but it's in another. And if you've done your homework, you know what that's going to be. And let's just say I'm approaching a slider or a changeup. It's going to have a different window. Like I need this one to start over here in the left. Now, if the fastball starts where I'm looking for the slider, it can be dangerous. So that's kind of the thing, is you have to recognize it as fast as you can. And for me, I was just approaching those windows.
I mean, hitting a baseball has to be the hardest thing in professional sports, right?
I believe statistically it's like that and like saving a penalty kick is like the two lowest like percentage success rates. So you have to be a little mental to be a hitter in general.
And punting.
And punting, very difficult.
Hunter, you have a nephew who's the #1 prospect in the country right now?
I don't know the rankings of the prospect, but you know, he definitely has done a lot of work. He's pretty remarkable. He's definitely gifted as well. But yeah, he's throwing the ball really hard. He's hitting the ball really far, and he's a absolute he's a bit of a freak. He's 6'6", 220, and is going into his senior year in high school, and he throws 101 miles an hour. So it's pretty exciting.
6'6". Are you worried that he's going to wind up being the best in the family?
No, I would love for that to happen. I'm very proud. I'm so proud of him, and his younger brothers are both going to be very good players as well. But like just how much this kid is like, you know, shown up, like, and how much he loves it and follows it. I feel like he knows the history of baseball more than I do, just through like, you know, always playing MLB The Show and reading all these books, and he knows all the old players, and it's just intrinsic with him. He loves it.
Hunter, we're down here in Miami. I may or may not happen to be a part of the Marlins broadcast, and I'm just wondering, how do you think that they've been able to turn into the best team in baseball since the start of June? What do you think of this Marlins team?
Well, I think they got some really good arms. You know, obviously, like Otto Lopez has had a tremendous first half, and all up and down your lineup, man. It is a young, athletic. They have good at bats. Stowers is so fun to watch hit. You know, just coming off the series that I saw them play, their lineup is just deep, and their arms, it's just a lot of disgusting arms, and watching some of the starters turn into you know, who they're turning into, it's just I've actually felt like the Marlins have been, you know, on the cusp of this breakout year for a while. We'll see how it goes in the second half, but I'm a believer that they're real, and they're really good as well.
Hunter Pence believes they're real.
All right.
That's ass.
I hope he's right. You know, I like the Marlins, obviously. I live here. Come on. I hope he's correct. Hunter, there's talk about a lockout or a strike, CBA, that whole deal. Is a salary cap ever going to be something the players entertain?
You know, I'm definitely not the one to be asking about that in particular. Just no idea. You know, I would say whenever I was a player that this wasn't something that they were willing to entertain. And it was something that was fought for from all the players before to, you know, continue to give everyone an opportunity to, you know, get their value, like what you're being paid, what you're worth, and what you bring to the table. So who knows? And, you know, I just want both these sides. The baseball's in such a good place. I'm hoping that we just continue to have baseball because I love the game, and I hope they look to take care of each other, and, you know, we'll see.
Hunter will be on the broadcast. Home Run Derby, Netflix, July 13th. Any other broadcast mates play Magic the Gathering?
I haven't played Magic in a while, but no, I haven't. We're getting into dominoes. That's the
All
you know,
right.
dominoes and cribbage is where we're at today.
Good job, Hunter. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate y'all having me.
There you go. Yes, my name is Dan. Did I make him uncomfortable with the salary cap question?
I liked him. He was great.
He was very good.
I love him, and I want him to come back on the show all the time and talk baseball and tell me how the Marlins are as good as I think they are.
I think you did a great job, Dan.
Way to go, Dan.
Sean Avery, huh? Third Christopher Nolan film. Which other ones?
Tenet, Oppenheimer.
Well, I wouldn't remember Tenet because that movie sucks. Who was he in Oppenheimer? Was he Oppenheimer?
No, he wasn't Oppenheimer. Nick, go ahead. Name someone that isn't Albert Einstein or Oppenheimer in Oppenheimer. He was one of the others.
All right. He wasn't Oppenheimer's
John
wife.
Matuzak, the Raiders pass rusher. I think the Raiders probably have the most players in movie history. John Matuzak was in Caveman.
Carl Weathers.
But Carl Weathers, of course, yes. The late, great Apollo Creed, the Count of Monte Fisto. Hunter Pence, though, I call a spade a spade. He was great.
He was.
But I don't buy it for a second. I don't buy it for a second that he hopes his nephew is better than he is. Come on. Don't come on here and jive us. Don't jive yourself, more importantly, Hunter. You don't want your nephew to be better than you. You're a Major League ball player. A rare thing to be among fellow human beings. You want someone in your own family to best you? Come on.
How did we skip the pass that his name is Stryker?
How did we skip
the pass? I don't even know what my brain did there. How did we skip past the fact that his name is Stryker?
Yeah, I didn't
the kid's
understand
name
the
is Stryker
words
Pence.
you were saying.
I don't know, man. How did we skip the pass?
What
It's like
does
a
that
bounce pass.
sentence mean? How did we
How
skip
did
the
we
pass?
skip past the fact that his name is
Oh,
Stryker?
no, but you said, how did we skip the
Yeah,
pass?
I get it. My brain was working faster than my mouth was.
How does that mean?
What do you want from me?
Come on,
Speak
Dan. Take
normal?
it easy.
So, I'm going to see Odyssey next week. Later this month, I'm going to see Spider-Man. But the big question is, at the end of the year, in December, obviously I'm going to see Dune 3. New trailer just came out. Holy shit, take my money. Dune 3 is coming out the same day as Avengers Doomsday. So, what are we doing there? It's Doomsday. You remember Barbenheimer? Same thing. This is Doomsday. So the question is, do I see both movies the same day, opening day? Do I just spend a day at the theater? Dave, I think that's got to be the move, right?
Well, it's fortuitous. It's serendipity that I mentioned the underrated sports movie Victory that I encourage you, nay, demand that you go and view as soon as possible. Sly Stallone plays the Allied prisoner team's goalkeeper in that movie, and also was also, of course, Rocky. I would like to be your Mickey Goldsmith. I will get on a plane and I will train you because I don't think you're ready for this. I think we have to go through some conditioning drills for several months. I'm going to run you on the beach and otherwise have you eat popcorn so that you can do a double feature of this length and magnitude.
I mean, I don't want to be like little Alex with the ultraviolence where I'm sitting there with like my eyes propped open. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do. But that's on the table. Yeah. I want you to do this.
I don't know. Doomsday.